So are you a more technical person or do you like to just talk about the strategies and things that you want to do? Whenever you work with an AI app, Gemini, ChatGPT, etc., you're going to be working with some kind of a language model. And that is going to be or technical or it's going to be more conversational. The ones that I mostly use, I mean, I use both, but the ones that I mostly use is the conversational because I just prefer to talk to like a person and just explain what I'm trying to do. And I just go back and forth with the ideas. It's like I'm actually talking to a colleague. Remember, what we want to do is take away all these repetitive tasks that just take away time and leave to us the strategic thinking and creativity. Now, I know what you're going to say. Some of them, I mean, I've read the articles too. Some say that AI is even more creative than human beings right now. Maybe they can, but remember, we are the ones that are feeding its information. So that's one of the critical things that you have to understand while you're working with an AI. AI will only answer back accordingly to the information you've given it. That is what a prompt is for. You're going to hear a lot of what prompts are, and most sure you've already heard prompts all over the place. But basically, the prompt is the instructions that you're giving AI to give you an answer back. The ideal prompt for marketing strategies is elaborating like a profile of what the AI needs to understand what it is. So, for example, you need to say, okay, I am a marketing agency. I am based out of the United States. I live, say, in the East Coast, and my target audience is basically around 45 to 60 years old of, I don't know, professionals. I just made that up. Then you can start elaborating on what is it that you are selling. So if it's a marketing agency, are you selling services? Are you selling campaigns? Are you selling design? What are you selling? Right? So you start explaining what you are selling. So I'm an agency. This is my target. I'm selling these products. You're explaining the AI what you do, how you're doing it. So AI will find a lot of gaps within the information that you're going to be giving it. So sometimes what you can do is build a prompt. You can find many online and just download them and adapt them to what you're trying to do. Tell it to ask you questions about what you're doing. It will be asking you questions back and forth forever. So at one point, you're going to just stop and say, okay, now let's generate something, right? But the important thing is that you will be generating a profile. That profile will stay there so you can save it. Next time you want to build another campaign or anything else, it already has the profile, so it already understands from where it's standing to build that next content. So one approach is going to be very technical. You're going to be asking about, say, specific items, segmentations, niches, etc. Another one is going to be a lot more conversational. You're going to be talking about what the idea could be, the creativity process, the strategy behind the process. What I'm trying to say basically is you can use both. You don't have to use just one. Now, the tools that I recommend, because they're free and they're right there, is ChatGPT and Gemini. ChatGPT, you could use the 4.0, which is paid, but it's like $20. It's not that much, at least at the time of recording this video. But it's the language and the way it gives you better responses. It's the database on which it's working off of is a lot better. The other thing that it does, the 4.0, is that it can analyze documents and whatever you're giving it. So like, for example, if you already have like a document or an Excel sheet, something, a presentation that has data on it, you can upload it for it to analyze. So if you're a marketer and you're just starting off with this, the best thing that I can recommend is go directly to ChatGPT and start doing their YouTube training videos. They're very good. They're extensive. Now, you can go on YouTube and do many other tutorials. There's so much information out there for you to train yourself. Basically, the idea is to prepare yourself into how you're going to be interacting with either of the tools. If it's going to be GPT, it's going to be Gemini, or anything else. I also use other platforms which are paid for, of course, but they also have more or less the same concept. Basically, you interact through a chat, you tell it what you need. It can be more technical or it can be more conversational. Now, choosing one of these tools or several tools for your business is going to be also something that you can have to consider a few factors. For example, scalability. How many people are going to be using it? If you have everything down set on spreadsheets and you're like A-OK with prompts, I'd go with Gemini right away. But if you're just starting off and you want to get your feet wet, GPT would be like more the way I would go because of the conversational way of the model, the language model and everything. It's going to be easier. It's going to feel like you're talking to a colleague or something. It's going to be easier and faster. Now, something that's going to be very interesting here, okay, is how you're going to be personalizing these tools for you. Remember, we talked about building up a profile, right? So you already told the AI what you are, what you do, who you're selling to, or what your product is for. Now you have that saved. It's a profile. So it's personalized. In other words, it understands the language that you want it to use, and it can be repeating the same kind of language. Let's say you have a slogan or something like that, and you want it to be using that slogan constantly within all your messages. You can do that because it will start giving you basically all the language that you use built into that. You can bring ideas for all your social media, for example, for the month, for the week, or it can be seasonal. And you can tell it, hey, I want you to build me a campaign for, say, I don't know, 10 social posts for the week of Christmas. And it will build that based out of your type of model, what the profile that you've been giving it, based on what your services are, based on what the type of language you want to use, any specific terminology. In other words, it's going to be completely personalized to what you want it to say. Same thing goes for any kind of content, not just social. So let's say you're building an article for your blog. What you're going to do is that you're going to build the article, you have your ideas, you have your concept, you understand perfectly what it's going to be about. You're going to ask it to write a draft based on your concept, on your bullet points. Once you do that, you proofread, be sure that the information is accurate. Remember, AI sometimes has some databases that are dated, so you want to be very sure that the information is all accurate. Sometimes it really just goes on tangents. You just got to reel it in, you know? But within an hour or so, you're going to have a basic draft, a good draft of what you want, you know? Maybe a 2,000 word, a 1,500 word a post ready to go for your blog. Now you have your blog. Tell it to build, say, 2 or 3 social posts based on that blog. Oh, sorry. Now you have your blog post. So now you're going to tell it, hey, build me 2 or 3, say, social posts for Facebook or Twitter or X to promote that blog. And don't forget the call to action. So let's say you're building your content and now it's perfect. You love it, but you're missing your call to action. So they've loved it. They've read it. But you're not inviting them to do anything. You want them to engage. You want them maybe to fill out a form in your website to get in contact with you. So tell it to rewrite it with a different tone. Tell it to rewrite it with a tone where you want it to be engaging so they can actually fill out that form at the bottom of the page. So what I'm trying to say is it's not as different as what you're already doing. You're still going to be doing some strategic planning for everything. You're still going to have to identify tools. This time it's going to be AI tools. You're going to identify the channels that you want to use, say social, say a blog post, any kind of whatever. If you're doing inbound, outbound, are you going to be doing emails, etc. You're going to be basically choosing what tools you're going to use. You're going to prep all the information and data necessary to build out the content, right? So content. And of course, you're going to be monitoring that everything is working as planned. Basically, you have to monitor everything. I mean, if you're not monitoring what you're doing, then you're never going to know if it's working or not. Now, there are many other use cases for AI, not just content in the sense of written content. You can also build images. You can ask it for images or to do searches of images to give you back something that you're looking for. You can ask it even to build a video. We've all seen OpenAI building all these new videos that are coming out. Yes, of course, they have issues, but we're talking about a huge leap forward in quality of what it used to be since we saw that Will Smith eating spaghetti video. The future is super clear. AI is going to be a tool that's not going anywhere. It's only going to be growing and growing. So we need to adapt. We need to learn to use it. All you marketers out there that have been around, you seasoned marketers, you know who I'm talking about. Think back to when social hit the streets. For everybody, it was, I don't want to be in Twitter or Facebook, but I have to be in there. It was just a sense of having to be there, but not really using it. Today, it's not even conceivable not to have a social media strategy. AI is going to be another tool that we have to learn. So you get on the bus now, or you just won't be in the bus when people choose the bus that they're going to use. Oh, what a bad analogy. So you need to get on the bus now for this. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. But believe me, once you start using it, you start seeing how it's going to take away all those tedious tasks, those just time-consuming things. I wasn't the person that was writing articles all the time because I wasn't a really good writer. But I always had a lot of ideas that I wanted to develop. I just didn't have the writing skills. Now I have a tool that can do that part for me. And now I can have an actual blog with a lot of posts and information, scripts for doing YouTube videos, scripts for social content, and everything. AI marketing is revolutionizing the way businesses engage with their audiences. We have more effective marketing strategies. Marketing teams can be more efficient. And one of the things that is so important for me is that AI is empowering small businesses to compete hand to hand with big enterprises now. They are just leveling the fields. We have to keep harnessing our creativity. We have to keep harnessing the people that work in the companies because they are the ones that are running it. It's not AI. AI is just the tool, but it's really going to help a lot with building growth strategies, building new social media strategies, content marketing, any kind of AI marketing strategy that you're going to be building. It's going to really help you predict marketing trends, how to personalize your content, how to A/B content for better strategies with your clientele. It's basically going to take you to the future. I really hope you liked today's video. If you want to go more into depth of what we were talking about today, go read the article. It's really interesting. It really goes into more depth of every single topic that we were talking about today. And if this is a value for you, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.